Greetings, my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing. I want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me in this endeavor to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We need you. Thank you. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I'm here today to discuss a bunch of new information I've received from my Hollywood spies about the Acolyte. I've mentioned before how very difficult it has been to get any information out about the Acolyte. I'm really not sure whether the reason has been tight security, active disinformation, or simply there's a level of chaos that's been around this production from the start that has everyone confused. Regardless, we have finally gotten a few sources that my Hollywood spies are expressing a certain amount of faith in, yet even so, the strangeness continues. I got a walk-in source with an entirely different story to tell, and in the interest of fairness, I am including what that source told me about their experience with the production, and as always, I'm simply presenting all of this as rumor and allowing you to evaluate what's being said and to make up your own mind.
Well, dude, the first thing I'm sure people want to know is Leslye Headland fired or not? Was that Sparrow dude correct, or were they off the mark?
Okay, so let me deal with that first, and then I'll get to the other rumors and move on from there. As you may recall, Cameron Pashaw released an update on his Patreon from his Lucasfilm spy, codenamed Sparrow, that stated Leslye Headland is fired and the Acolyte is basically being soft canceled. That they're going to keep on saying, it's coming, but then like Godot, it never comes, no matter how long you wait. Well, I've been hitting up my Hollywood spies for confirmation that she is fired, and so far, my Hollywood spies have not been able to confirm Cameron's rumor.
So what, does that mean she's not fired? Does that mean Sparrow was wrong?
Honestly, Harvey, I don't know what it means. All I can tell you guys is this. Despite what some detractors like to say, I do not believe that Cameron is lying. I believe that Cameron Pashaw is in contact with a source inside Lucasfilm, a source I have never met. Now, Cameron has told me a few things about Sparrow, nothing that would point to their identity, but details about their position inside Disney and/or Lucasfilm, and from what I've been told, it makes sense that Sparrow would plausibly be in proximity to this kind of information. The fact that at this time my Hollywood spies have been unable to confirm what Sparrow has said doesn't necessarily mean it's not true. It may simply be that in this case, Sparrow, for whatever reason, is ahead of the curve in learning this information. Now, on the other hand, there are a few other possibilities. Sparrow could be a double agent, sowing misinformation for Kennedy's camp, trying to mislead the public, discredit Cameron, or even myself. It is also possible that Sparrow is being misled as well, that Lucasfilm is onto Sparrow and is feeding Sparrow disinformation to smoke them out of hiding. And of course, given Cameron's assertions, though I've never met Sparrow, there is definitely the possibility that Sparrow is entirely correct and word simply hasn't gotten out yet. I asked Cameron about the more negative possibilities I just mentioned on Pop Culture Breakdown this past Wednesday, and he stated very plainly that he didn't believe Sparrow was a double agent or that Sparrow was being fed disinformation. I expressed the view that we'll know soon enough, one way or the other, how reliable and accurate Sparrow is. Because if Headland is fired, they won't be able to keep that secret for long. And if she's not fired and Sparrow was misled or is misleading us as a double agent, they'll likely spring the trap soon. As I've said, I don't know Sparrow, but I do know Cameron Pashaw, and I know he's not a liar. He's a good, honorable man and a friend, and I cannot believe he would ever lie to me.
But do you believe it's plausible that Leslye Headland could be fired?
I do believe it's plausible, Skull of Calderon, because in a world where Disney has fired their chief financial officer and fired their uber-woke chief diversity officer in the wake of firing Victoria Alonso, a Marvel VP, and firing Bob Chapek, the CEO of the Walt Disney Corporation. Shit, anything is possible. I mean, compared to those major executives who were fired, who the fuck is Leslye Headland? I mean, she's just a producer, and a very inexperienced one who used to be Harvey Weinstein's assistant, for God's sakes. So yeah, it's definitely possible. Now, while my Hollywood spies can't confirm that Leslye is fired, they are confirming that the Acolyte is a huge mess, which in my mind adds to the plausibility that Disney can no longer afford to screw around with losers and failures anymore, not with the stock hovering around $88 a share. So with all that said, let's get to what my Hollywood spies have told me. At this point, I must state that the information I'm about to share with you is information provided to me by sources claiming knowledge of the situation with the Acolyte, but since I cannot personally verify any of this, I'm presenting it as unverified rumor, and I ask you to please take it with a grain of salt. So this is what my Hollywood spies sent me. Quote, "This is going to be a long one, and I'm sorry, but I have to lay out everything so you understand why we are running with this. Let's start with our newest source out of Lucasfilm. Considering just how right this source has been lately, we decided to bring this to you. This source has called every major firing, and according to this source, more people who are planning to spend time with family are coming. The following information comes from this source, and here is what they had to say. Quote, Leslye was brought in specifically to replace Kathleen Kennedy. KK was showing her the ropes, being on set, learning the ins and outs. Leslye was basically going to be a puppet for KK, and Leslye was to be over the Disney Plus side. The Acolyte was a proving ground in a way, and Leslye has completely failed. The Acolyte is over budget at $312 million, and Leslye is asking for more. Kathy moved the Acolyte to London for multiple reasons. The first reason was to keep anyone from walking on set and watching. I mean Bob Iger or his people. Second reason, to avoid the strike, because the script is being made up as they go along at this point. 3, to make it harder to shut down. Kathy had help funding this, but word has it her benefactor has cut her off. Unquote.
Wait a minute. Headland was brought in to replace KK, and KK was okay with that?
Yeah, that sounded weird to me too, Harvey. But I think what this source was saying was Kathleen Kennedy had selected Leslye Headland to be her apprentice, her successor. That Headland was loyal, was committed to the feminist message, and also could be controlled by KK to some extent, maybe even influenced after Kennedy retired. Legacy is important to Kennedy, and I suspect this says she wants to leave behind someone in her position who will carry on the rotten work. My spies then asked this person, "You say Leslye was brought in to take over for KK with Disney Plus shows. What about movies?" The source replied, "Well, that's been a moving target. Patty Jenkins was the first pick. Well, we know how that turned out. The second pick is Fleabag, but it's looking like that may also go down in flames. To be honest, I'm not sure who will get picked if Kathy gets her way, but it seems she may not have a choice at this point. Disney is in no position to fuck around, regardless of Bob Iger's personal preference. He knows the truth. Disney is in a death spiral, and if he wants to go out on top, stuff has got to change, and change fast. I'm not saying he wants to. He has to in order to save his image. Look, I know for a fact Secret Invasion had major reshoots to remove a good deal of what you would consider woke. Not saying it's all gone, but a good deal of it is. At the end of the day, after the dust settles, the most likely outcome is Dave Filoni will be over Star Wars and Jon Favreau will be over Disney Plus unless Bob pulls in someone else. Unquote. At this point, my spies asked this source, so is Leslye getting the axe? The source replied, Well, I don't know anything different, but it's not going to surprise me if she decides to step away and spend time with family. My spies asked, so a graceful exit? And the source replied, something like that. I'm sure she will get a very nice check to keep her mouth shut, kind of the way the latest DEI head left, unquote. My spies concluded this report by stating, this is the second source that claims Acolyte is out of money, unquote.
Disney is in a death spiral. Holy crap, dude. Holy crap. And Secret Invasion? Costing $312 million? And she's asking for more? Holy shit.
Holy shit indeed, Harvey. Now, in the interest of fairness, I have received a contradictory report from a walk-in source who expressed worry that they were breaking their NDA by speaking with me, so I'm going to be careful not to reveal anything personal here, but according to this source, Leslye Headland is doing just great, and everything is hunky-dory with the Acolyte. Now, I told you to take what my Hollywood spies just told you with a grain of salt, but that goes double for any walk-in source because we have no way of vetting these individuals and I have no idea what their agenda is, so yes, fair warning. However, I will add that the first person to contact me about Indy 5 who was absolutely on the money was a walk-in source. Anyway, I thought I should share with you a dissenting view, so here it is. This individual tells me, quote, I could be risking legal action, but I worked on the Acolyte for over a year. I have seen all the sets, actors, KK, different directors, etc. Filming every day for months. Met Leslye and directors and designers. The production is still running. People I know still at work. Filming wrapped about a month ago. I've seen lots of footage. It's very high quality. Disney extremely happy. Everyone bowled over by the quality of the work and just how good it all looks. The whole crew gathered and thanked personally. This news of Leslye Headland being fired? No one I know is saying that. Not heard anything about cancellation, unquote.
And yet, probably in response to Sparrow's rumor that Headland had been fired, Lucasfilm just released an announcement that they'd cast a trans actor for the Acolyte. So, if the filming is completed, then how would they have just cast an actor for the part?
Well, that's a great question, Harvey Cthulhu. Welcome to the world of reporting on the Acolyte. I have more information on the Acolyte, and I'll be presenting it to you in the near future. And of course, one way or the other, we will soon learn about Leslye Headland's fate at Disney, pro or con. And I think at that point, it will answer many questions about Sparrow. Regardless of the outcome, I'll keep you posted. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.